Jack? Where's Jack? Where is he? Jack, I want to see you. Great job, Jack. Thank you. What a job you do. You know, we have an incredible thing. We're always talking about the fake news and the bad, but we have guys, and these are the guys who should be getting Pulitzers.
Freedom has never been free, and lately we've been reminded of just how high the cost can actually be. Growing violence is meant to shake us, but it should only strengthen our resolve to never back down, and that's why Patriot Mobile exists. For over 12 years, they've been defending faith, family, and freedom, while providing the same or better premium network access on all 3 major U.S. networks. Unlimited data, mobile hotspots, international roaming, they do it all. When you switch, you don't sacrifice quality or service. Hundreds of thousands have joined the movement by switching their cell service to Patriot Mobile. Now, every time they pay their bill, they're supporting the First Amendment, the Second Amendment, the sanctity of life, and our veterans and first responders. Switching is easy. Keep your number, keep your phone, or upgrade. Their 100% U.S.-based customer service team can activate you in minutes on the phone. Call 972-PATRIOT or visit patriotmobile.com/POSO today. Use promo code POSO for a free month of service. That's patriotmobile.com/POSO or call 972-PATRIOT and make the switch today.
Really excited to be sitting down with European firebrand freedom fighter, a fighter for her people, a fighter for her civilization, and a wayward former Human Events Daily co-host, Eva Vlaar. What's up, Eva?
Hi, Jack. It's great to see you.
Now, do I have this correct? When was the last time you were in the United States?
Yeah, so the last time I was in the United States was the 19th of December, 2023 at America Fest.
And what were you doing at America Fest?
Hosting with you.
Hosting Human Events Daily. Wow, look at this.
Yeah.
I remember we had the American shaman on. You remember that?
Oh my God, my husband keeps on saying that he wants to meet him, so I'm happy you bring that up.
Are you serious?
Yeah, he's like, I need to meet that man.
Your husband wants to, why does he want to meet him?
Because he's like, to him, my husband's Italian, right?
Yeah,
it's like the most incredible thing, a guy like that. Like the way he's dressed, he's like, I need to understand this man, I need to understand his psyche, I need to understand American politics, and like, you know.
Well, producer Foz is really good friends with him, so Foz, please set that up. Okay. And I think he's out in Arizona anyway, so you'll have to come back. We have to come back to AmFest, and then you can meet him. Oh.
I would love to.
All right, well, we'll see. We'll see December.
Although it won't be the same this time.
I wanted to say, no, of course not. And I wanted to say though, you know, you gave me a very nice call after Charlie's murder, and even beyond that, on a personal level, you gave a speech at the Tommy Robinson rally, I think just 3 days after Charlie's assassination. Tell us what it felt like to be up there, how many people were there, and just from a personal level, thank you for doing that, and turning that into this sort of interesting interplay of Western civilization, Charlie, what he stood for, everything the movement stands for. I mean, you can't even really put into words what that moment was.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, thank you for bringing it up, because that rally, I mean, it was, of course, it was completely transformed after...
Because it was already set.
It was already set,
right.
You know, for weeks.
I had even... We were thinking maybe, will I go? And I don't know. We were thinking about it.
Yeah. Tommy Robinson organized it, and it was called the Kingdom Rally. So it was very a nationalist, event.
That was at his 2018 rally. So that's why I was thinking, maybe go back and do another one.
Yeah. Next time you should come.
I will.
But it was, of course, we were expecting people to come out waving their flags, talking about things like remigration. And when I went there, I saw, of course, a sea of flags, but I also saw Charlie's portrait, everywhere. So it completely transformed the event in and of itself. And personally, I mean, I told you on the phone, right, that it was genuinely different this time. I was, for the first time, not excited to go, because spirits were just so heavy. We were afraid, we were sad, and we were only thinking about Charlie and what had happened. And also on a personal note, if I'm honest, my husband and I, when we saw the images of what happened to Charlie and in the days afterwards, we're just upset, crying, and also scared. Okay, this just happened to one of our bravest warriors, and now we're settled to go to London and stand on the stage, at a protest.
And not inside, outside.
Not outside. Not inside, it's outside, and there's no, there's no way that you know who's going to be in front of you there. And of course, millions of people were set to come. So it was like, I was a bit afraid for the first time in my life, which was a feeling that I don't know. Of course, you get nervous sometimes if you have to perform and you have to go in front of a large audience, but this was a totally different experience.
So why do it then?
Because we had to, because if you then say, okay, we're not going to go, I'm not going to go, then the people who killed Charlie got what they wanted. So we had to go. And I'm really glad afterwards that we went, because it was incredible. The energy that we felt there, I think what happened to Charlie amplified that by, a number that I can't even quantify. It was unlike anything that I've ever seen before. And you have been to tons of political rallies. I've been to tons of political rallies. This one was different. It was different, not just in numbers, it was different in energy. And of course, the media lies about it. There were I think the BBC was saying that there were 110,000 people there, which is funny because we had helicopters flying over. Everyone with eyes can see the images. There were millions of people out there. In the beginning, we spoke to police officers who were saying, we think that there are about 3 million people here. I mean, it was definitely closer to that than to what the BBC said.
There's been some, undercurrents, I think, that rose to the surface in not only Charlie's murder, but in this rally with Tommy Robinson, this idea that we're actually in a fight for Western civilization itself. And I actually brought that up when I spoke at Charlie's memorial. I say, I hope and I actually believe that 100 years from now, 200 years from now, when they look back and they say, how was Western civilization saved? They will point back, and one of the 2 or 3 moments that they'll point to was that the murder of Charlie Kirk was what saved the West, because it galvanized people into what we were actually fighting for.
I think you're right. I think you're absolutely right. It transformed everything for everyone, I think, in this fight. And of course, we knew that this is a dangerous fight to fight, right? We were talking on the phone. Of course, I called you because I wanted to know also how you were doing personally, because I know you were very close to Charlie. But we were talking about what's at stake here and how we were aware of that coming from the Netherlands. And you knew both names. We talked about the political assassinations of Pim Fortuyn and Theo van Gogh. 2 of our most, I would say, prominent political figures 20 years ago in my country were assassinated, both of them in broad daylight. So one of them, of course, was a right-wing politician. He was about to become the prime minister in the next elections. That's how popular he was. How different maybe our fate would have looked if he had, in fact, become the prime minister. I think quite different. And Theo van Gogh was a journalist who was very critical of Islam, and he got murdered by an Islamist. Pim Fortuyn got murdered by a climate activist. So 2 major political assassinations more than 20 years ago. I grew up knowing that. So going into this, I've always known, that this is a real possibility, that we are, on the right we're arguing for freedom of speech, we're arguing for freedom in general, we're arguing for our national identity to preserve. But on the other side, there are people who want to kill us.
And those assassinations, if I remember correctly, they were in public, right?
Yeah, both of them were in public.
I forget if I ever told you this, but one of the very first political events that I ever put together was on my college campus in 2009, when I brought Geert Wilders to campus, and he brought with him Lars Vilks, the cartoonist, right? Mm-hmm. And this is, we're coming up almost 20 years ago, and that's how I knew about this violence, and that's how I knew about how horrific the situation had become in the EU, and also at the same time, I understood that this fight is very serious. This fight is absolutely lethal if you come out and speak the wrong thing. But at the same time, you can't stop just because the enemy is angry. You can't stop just because you made someone upset. In fact, that shows you that what you're doing is potentially, it's working, it's gaining traction, you're actually winning. In fact, it's actually a signal you should do more.
Of course, yeah, they wouldn't want to kill us if they weren't afraid of us. So clearly there is power within our voices, and there's power within what we do. And I mean, it would be the coward's way out, right, if we were to stop. We have to continue doing what is right, because we both know that this is not just about politics. This is a spiritual battle. We are fighting for good. You know, we are fighting for God, and this is not the only life that we will live. So knowing that, you really don't have another option, I think, than to continue and keep on trying to make change for the better. And in Europe, I mean, like I said, this is more than 20 years ago that these two major assassinations happened in just my small little country, right? But it says a lot about the political atmosphere there, and it hasn't gotten better necessarily. I mean, the right wing, of course, is gaining ground,